Everybody, let's get into the Black History Factor today. We are going to be talking about Miss Fanny Jackson Coppin. She was a teacher, she was an innovator, she was a lecturer, she was a missionary to Africa, and she really fought for what's right for African Americans, okay? And she was a beacon and role model for generations. So she was born into slavery in the nation's capital. She was purchased by an aunt, but then later on she had to work domestically. That often happened to a lot of people that were slaved, or they were like first generation of being freed from slavery. They had to help, the children had to help their parents. So, they oftentimes had to choose over education or working and helping their household. So, and that also depended on too, if it was a single household or it was a mother and a father household, but that typically that wasn't uncommon. Okay, so at the age of 14, she was supporting herself in Newport, Rhode Island, and she was struggling for education. And she wrote in a letter, she said, "It was me. To get an education and to teach my people. This was an idea that was deep in my soul." She attended Rhode Island State Normal School and then Oberlin College, where her achievements were amazing. She was the first Black person chosen to be a pupil teacher. In her senior year, she organized evening classes to teach freed men. After her graduation in 1865, Fanny Jackson was appointed to the Institute for Colored Youth, a Quaker school in Philadelphia. Within 4 years, she became head principal, from which position she influenced 2 generations of young people. In a letter to Frederick Douglass in 1876, she explained her commitment. "I feel sometimes like a person to whom in childhood was entrusted some sacred flame. This is the desire to see my race lifted up out of the mirror of ignorance, weakness, and degradation. No longer to sit in obscure corners and devour the scraps of knowledge which his superiors flung at him. I want to see him crowned with strength and dignity, adorned with the enduring grace of intellectual attainments." Oh, that is beautiful. Her school was centered on this dream. She expanded the curriculum to include an industrial department, established a women's industrial exchange to display the mechanical and artistic works of young women, and she founded a home for girls and young women to house workers from out of town. Moreover, she persuaded employers to hire her pupils in capacities that would utilize their education. In 1881, she married Reverend Levi J. Copeland, a prominent AME minister, and together they were a driving force in Black America. She continued her work at school, but added missionary work in her interest. Mrs. Coppin retired from her beloved school in 1902 at the age of 65 and began a new career. She accompanied her husband, now a bishop, to Cape Town, South Africa, where she was an effective missionary counseling African women. She returned to Philadelphia in 1907, broken in health but not in spirit. In her last year, she completed her autobiography, Reminiscences of School Life, which remains a record of a remarkable life. Fanny Jackson passed away in 1913 at the age of 76. Perhaps her greatest accomplishments was to influence her students. She really loved to help people and support people. And she had a dream at a very young age, and she put her mind to it, and she did it. And I hope for the Black girls and boys and parents and mothers and fathers that you guys teach your children Black history, and that they're not subjected to what their oppressors want them to be. They're not subjected to what their ancestors had to go through, but they could do whatever they put their mind to it. It may not be the easiest route, but you could do it.